right, so today, this is your worksheet that you went through today, and if it's really a struggle, I'm just going to walk through the whole thing. The video might take a while, and you just go to where you need to. Pause if you need to, go back if you need to, go forward if you need to, whatever is best for you. That's why I've made this recording. So, I'm just going to go in and look at that very first question, and it says, negative 2/3 plus negative 4/5. So as I go through, I'm just going to go in and say, okay, the first thing I need to do, I need to come up with a common denominator. So 3 and 5. All right, I'm going to go with 15 and 15 over here. And then I'm just going to say, all right, 3 times what gives me 15? Well, 3 times 5. So negative 2 times 5 gives me negative 10. Then I look here, I've still got a plus, but this is negative up here. And then 5 times what gives me 15? So 4 times 3 up here gives me 12. From here, I'm going to look through, and I'm doing good. Negative 10 plus negative 12 gives me negative 22 over 15. And can I leave it that way? No. I noticed that there's a negative on top, kind of a big negative that we got there. So my answer is going to be negative. 15 goes into 22 one whole time. And 7/15 left over. Can I simplify that anymore? Nope. Done. All right. Then this next one, I've got 1/2 minus 7/10. So 1/2 minus 7/10 doesn't have a common denominator. I'm subtracting, so I need to. So I'm going to just put my 2 lines out there. It's a minus in between. Common denominator between 2 and 10. Got it. 10. Remember, if at any point in time you just want to go off and do it yourself and then check with me in a moment, just push pause and it's all good. 1/2 is how many tenths? If you're struggling with that, I could just write it over here just to think through it. 1/2 is how many tenths? 5. Because I'm making equivalent fractions there is really what's happening between here and here, equivalent fraction. So 5/10. This one didn't need to change it at all. So 5 minus 7. A lot of people say, oh gracious, what do I do with that? I can't do 5 minus 7. Well, technically you can, but if you need to keep, change, then please do that. So keep, change means 5 plus negative 7. Who wins by how much? The negatives win by 2. But as I look through, I can simplify that. So I get negative 1/5. Done. Now I look at this one. What in the world is even happening? I've got a parentheses, there's no sign in between. That's because you're multiplying. Multiplying, do you need a common denominator? No, you do not. So I'm going to look in here. I'm going to simplify right away because it's going to make a lot easier for me personally. If you want to, just multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom, and then simplify later, but I'm going to choose to say 6 and 8 simplifies. Well, if I had it over here, 6 to 8, what does that make? Well, it makes 3/4. So then I just write a 3 up here and a 4 down here. So 2 went into both. When I divided it by 2, I got 3. I divided 8 by 2, I got 4. Now, can I simplify these? So 3 times 3 is 9. 7 times 4 is 28. Can I simplify anymore? No. But now I've got to go back and I'm going to say, all right, what were my signs? Well, I had a negative times a positive. Negative times a positive gives you a negative. Sorry about that. So your answer is going to be negative because there was one negative in there. All right. So this is kind of getting a little bit cluttered. I'm just going to take some time to erase that out. If you need to pause it so you can see everything, please do that. I suppose next time I'll pause. When I can do that, I could have done that. Learning how to use a new tool. All right, now on number 4. So 9 tenths divided by 6/15. What do you have to do when you're dividing fractions? You got it. Flip what I'm dividing by, then it's easy, multiply. The rule is fine, just invert and multiply. So I keep that first one, negative 9 tenths times, flip this one over, 15 over negative 6. Mrs. Beaver, where does the negative go? Well, in all reality, it just doesn't even matter, because I know that I've got a negative times a negative is going to give me a positive, right? So now I'm going to go in and see, is there anything I can simplify right away? You could just multiply right away, but simplifying after you see it makes so much, it takes less time. So 10 and 15, what goes into both? If I had 15 over 10, what could I simplify that to? Well, 5 goes into both of them, so 3/2. So I'm going to write a 3 up here, 2 down here. Now, can I do 9 and 6? If I had 9 over 6, can I simplify that? Oh, hey, same thing. 3 goes into the top, 3 goes into the bottom, so I get 3/2. So I'm going to do that out as well. 3/2. 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 2 is 4. Negative times a negative is positive. Almost done, but I look at it and I say, hey, 4 can go into there. 4 goes in there, 4, 8. So 2 full times with 1/4 left over. Again, if that piece is hard, there's lots of other videos that you can watch that would help you to do this. Now on to number 5. As I'm looking at it, first of all, I see that it's a plus problem, but they're opposite signs. So therefore, really, it's a subtraction problem. My recommendation, when you see that the signs are opposite, just make them improper first. If you want to go write that into your notes, do it. All right, so 1 times 4 plus 1, I'm going to write it up here so I've got more room in a little while. 5/4. Positive or negative? Positive, okay. So plus, be careful, it's a negative. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 5, 23. Again, if this piece is hard for you, then go back and watch the video on how to make an improper fraction. Don't forget that it's a negative sign. What do I need to do now because it's adding? Right, common denominator. So I've got a 24, I've got a 24. 5/4 is how many 24s? Well, I multiplied it by 6, so I multiply by 6. I get 30. And over here, 6 times 4. Oh, Mrs. Beaver, that's a big number. It is. But you can do it. 4 times 3 is 12. Carry the 1. And you get 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So plus a negative. Be really careful with that. Equals, let's see, who wins by how much? The negatives win by 62 over 24. Hey, Mrs. Beaver, isn't there a way that you could just keep and do some subtraction that way? You bet. And if you want to talk through that, I would love, love, love. Maybe I'll just make another video that talks about how to do that. But otherwise, it might be easiest just to keep them improper for now. 24 goes into 64 2 times. So that's 48. So 48 to 52 is 4, another 10. So 14 left over. 14 24s. If at any point in time I'm wrong, just know that I'm really sorry, and you can tell me about it on Monday. Can I simplify this? You bet. So keep going, negative 7 and 12. Got it. 2, or negative 2 and 7/12. All right, number 6. Negative 7 and 3/10 minus a negative 4 and 4/5. All right. Keep change. Let's see. So it really becomes a subtraction problem. Who wins by how much? The negatives are going to win. But I can't do 3/10. Yeah, this whole minus thing. So I'm going to turn it improper again. So 7 times 10, 73. Yes, the numbers get big. Again, I'll make another video that shows you how to do it without making it improper. But you decide then which one's going to work best for you for now. So negative 73/10 plus, is it all right with you? I'm just going to make this into 8/10 first because I got to get a common denominator at some point in time. So 4 times 10 is 40 plus 8, 48. So I've got 48/10 and it's positive, right? Yep. So 48/10. Who wins by how much? 5. The negatives win by 25. So 25 over 10. 25 over 10 gives me negative 2 and a half. Number 7. Ooh, multiplication problem. What do you always have to do? Multiplication. Yeah, make it improper first. So 1 times 9 plus 5, negative 14 over 9. And times negative 15 over 7. So I look, hey, is there anything that I could make improper first? Yeah, or not improper, that I could simplify first. 14 over 7 is the same as 2 over 1. Is there anything I could simplify with 15 and 9? Yes. If you missed it, that's okay. You just keep multiplying through and simplify later. But I see that 3 goes into both. So I get 3/5. 2 times 5 is 10. 10/3. Look back at the signs. Negative times a negative is a positive, right? So 10/3, 3 goes into 10 3 full times with 1/3 left over. How are you doing? Is it getting better? We've got a test next Friday, so that will be Friday, November 1st. If you're doing it in 2013, if you're watching this video later next year, the year after that, then your test is a little bit different day. But for right now, your test is coming up within a week. So if you need help, get in here. I want to help you. So we're going to stop. What question was that? 7. And I'll start making a different video on another one just because this has taken a long time. Talk to you later. Bye.